Matt Smith here for the Sports Talk Media Network as Clemson lays waste to Wake Forest today, 49-14. There are years where Dave Clawson and Wake Forest can get just the right mix, just the right formula with their talented quarterback, some speed at the wide receiver positions, heady offensive linemen, and just enough athleticism along the defense to give fits to teams at the top of the ACC. 2024 is not one of those years. Wake Forest has struggled defensively, giving up points to almost everybody that comes their way, and Clemson was no different today, piling up 566 yards of total offense. Dabo Swinney in his postgame comments said, in totality, this was Clemson's best performance. Cade Klubnik continues to roll along, 31 of 41, 309 yards, no turnovers, nearly perfect today. Clemson as a club was nearly perfect. 37 first downs, the third most in Clemson history, 85 plays, no turnovers. It was a back-and-forth affair in the first quarter, but Clemson truly dominated, showing that Wake Forest is not in their weight class in the second and third quarters, and by the fourth quarter, it was just all hands on deck, and the participation report was filling up fast. We should also say Wes Goodwin's defense, led by Peter Woods, was also brilliant, giving up just 38 yards in the second half total. You have that number right, 38 yards, 49 in the fourth quarter, minus 11 in the third. Phil Maffa starred again, 118 hard-earned yards. Phil Maffa running with authority, running like Clemson fans saw Wayne Gallman run, and getting to the edge when he wants, lowering his pads and picking up tough yards when he wants. So everything going Clemson's way right now. One issue last week in the win over Florida State was the 7 field goal attempts. Clemson just wasn't finishing drives, and that's what Dabo Swinney said in his midweek press conference. That was one area they really wanted to target. Clemson 5 for 5 in the red zone today at Wake Forest, and punctuated by the jumbo package, the unveiling of the jumbo package. Peter Woods playing at the blocking back position, kind of hearkening back to the old days of Christian Wilkins when he roamed the backfield in some sort of big man fantasy camp. And Clemson unveiled that today, and Phil Maffa got behind his pads and got behind a couple of 300-pound defensive linemen and rumbled in from 2 yards out, helping Clemson continue its streak in the red zone, 5 for 5 today. Fifth win in a row for Clemson. Not much you can say. This was expected. Clemson was a major favorite, but they were almost perfect. It's hard to play that way each and every week. Next week, they've got Virginia. There will be some emotion in that game. Tony Elliott making his return to Death Valley. Of course, Tony Elliott, a player and then a longtime assistant coach under Dabo Swinney as both the wide receiver coach and then as the offensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator, and offensive coordinator. So 5 wins in a row this season now for Clemson. They moved to 5-1. They're perfect 4-0 in ACC play. They'll look to move to 5-0 in ACC play when Virginia comes calling next week. What does Clemson have to work on? Stay healthy. A couple of wide receivers are nicked up. Bryant Westcoat Jr. did not make this trip. He's got an ankle injury, an ankle that he rolled in the win over Florida State last week. He played through it last week, but they wanted to go ahead and precautionary, just keep him out. Tyler Brown, his ankle just isn't responding the way they want it to, so they're going to go ahead and shut him down, and then he'll get next week in the bye week off to rest up. He's nursing an ankle injury. But injuries, the injury report giveth and the injury report taketh away. Adam Randall comes back into action, catches 3 passes, including a touchdown on a 6-yard out as part of this route. He's got 2 screws in his foot, and he said, Dabo Swinney said that Adam Randall was ready to play last week against Florida State, but they wanted to make sure there were no setbacks. He practiced this week, came through with flying colors. So a lot of good news for Clemson. Peter Wood looks really good as well, coming off his knee injury. And, of course, they wouldn't be messing around. He wouldn't be playing fullback if there are any lingering effects there. So Clemson right now, they are rolling along. And I know Tony Elliott, He wants nothing more than Virginia to put up a good performance next week against Clemson at Death Valley, but probably right place, wrong time for anybody facing Clemson right now. They are a buzzsaw at this moment. So, of course, we'll talk about that. That'll be one of the things that we talk about on Sports Talk this week. I'll be joining the guys, Chris and Phil, Monday night, statewide, 6 to 8 p.m., and you can catch all of our coverage for this game and more at Sports Talk SC, and follow us 24 hours a day on Twitter at Sports Talk SC.